2 days ago. So I posted a picture 2 days ago and asked you guys to ask us some questions. And you did. So we're gonna answer them. Starting with from Takeoff.
With 2 V's.
What does your workflow look like in regards to photo edits? Well, it starts with taking pictures, and then I get them off my camera onto... I use a hard drive, this thing. It's 1 terabyte. It's not very good, but it's what I have for now. So all of my pictures are stored on this, and then I plug this into my laptop, which is somewhere here. And then my library is in Lightroom, Adobe Lightroom. I just kind of import everything. I delete the ones that I don't like, and then I spend some time going through and editing all of them, and then any of them that I want to use for anything, I'll just I'll export them and then put them on my phone. That's pretty much it. Yeah. For photos at least. Video is a bit different.
Second question is from Maddie D. underscore on. If you were to choose the best spot to do a photo shoot, where would you recommend?
So in Calgary, do you know where you would pick in Calgary?
Nose Hill
It's okay. So she said either Nose Hill or the Cliff, and the Cliff is it's Beaumont Park. It's where I go most of the time, just because it's really close to my house, and it overlooks the city. The thing about location though is that it the lighting is often much more important than the location, and then the people that you're with, depending on what kind of stuff you're doing. If you're shooting landscape, then obviously the landscape is the most important thing. But if you're shooting people, it's actually much more about what you bring to the location rather than the location itself.
And like the kind of like feel that you're going for.
Yeah, the atmosphere. So if we were going to go to somewhere like where we were the other day, it's Glenbow Ranch, and that was like around sunset, but it was still really sunny that day. So it was a much more light feel. So she was like, she had I don't know what kind of hat that is, but like a dress on and like kind of like more like sun oriented wear. yeah, stuff that you'd wear during the summer, and then maybe like in the fall or something, if you were to go back, it would be much more orange. So you'd probably bring like a jacket or just pants. yeah. Probably wouldn't be wearing a dress, although I mean you could. But and then you can bring stuff like backpacks, boots.
Weasel Head is also nice.
Yeah, Weasel Head is really nice, and what's the other one? Big Hill Springs. Both of those are like out the north part of that's an airplane.
But Weasel Head.
We'll just wait. It's fine. Yeah. Ethan Riley _, said, what camera do you use to record with and to take pictures? I use this camera for both. It's a Sony a6000. I don't have one camera for pictures and one camera for video. A lot of people do. If I could, then I probably would, but using the same one is totally fine. It's just you have to go in and change the settings a lot when you're switching from pictures to video. But for the most part, it's worked just fine for using this one for both. I only got this, what month? Anyways, I only got this like 3 weeks to a month ago-ish. And before that, I was borrowing my dad's camera and also using my sister's old camera. For the most part, now that I have my own camera, I'm not borrowing theirs.
Except right now, because
yeah.
And I have a Nikon 3100, and sometimes use my dad's D7000. Lauren
Murphy asked, how do How do you decide on what new content to create without doing the same thing over and over again?
I think the truth is sometimes we do the same things over and over again.
Yeah, I think we do.
But it's a new day with new things, and you kind of just like make the best of it. Like sometimes we go to different places or with different people and you're wearing different clothes.
Yeah.
And like the lighting is different, the day is different.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at like probably the past 50 pictures on my Instagram, at least like 10 or more maybe are at the cliff, which is like a 5-minute walk from my house. And I still really like it there. I mean, obviously I'm not going to go there every single time because just eventually that's going to get boring. But if that's the only place that I can go to take pictures, or the only place that I can go to see the sunset in time or something like that, I'm still going to go regardless of the fact that I've been there a lot. But for new ideas, I think the easiest way for me is that I just kind of, I bring my camera along for whatever I'm doing rather than planning around the camera. Except for like certain scenarios, but that's a different story. For the most part, it's like if I'm going to hang out with friends or I'm going to the Glenmore Reservoir or whatever it is, I'll bring my camera, and then whatever ends up happening, then I'll film or take pictures or whatever it is, rather than me being like, okay, well I want to go somewhere tonight in order to take pictures or take videos or whatever, and then it's just kind of, it's a more natural like decision making process.
That's it.
Cool.
Next question. Allison Max said, what's your fave ice cream flavor?
That's a really good question.
Well, I don't eat dairy, so I'm gonna go with like, well, definitely something that's coconut milk based, and probably chocolate, because that would be like all-time favorite. Whereas like sometimes if you like mix in like some peanut butter with that chocolate or some chunks.
Right. So like chocolate as like the base. The base flavor. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah. I think, I don't know. I think my favorite probably has to be like chocolate peanut butter. Very similar to what you were just saying. But that, I can only have that like so many times before it gets boring. I used to really like Tiger, like with the black licorice.
Yep.
But I can't eat it anymore. That used to be my favorite. But yeah, I think chocolate peanut butter is the answer. The overall. It's the winner. Okay. Beardo asked, how would you go on without the peach emoji? If it got taken away like right now.
I like the elephant.
Yeah, the elephant's nice.
Yeah.
Ollie?
Basically a peach. Yeah, Ollie. Ollie the elephant.
Yeah, Ollie the elephant. He's probably my second choice.
Delaney _Schaefer said, who's your biggest photography inspo? I wonder.
Yeah, that's definitely 3 days ago. So I posted a picture 2 days ago and asked you guys to ask us some questions. And you did. So we're going to answer them. Starting with from half months ago. Does that sound weird?
That sounds right.
Probably like 2.5 months ago I found his Instagram, and then not too long after I found his YouTube and his vlogs, and just everything else that he does. He was the first kind of person that said like you don't need anything. There's no prerequisite to any of it other than having a camera, and not even like having a camera, just having something that you can take pictures on.
Yeah, like he shoots on his iPhone.
Yeah,
sometimes.
a lot actually recently. Yeah. So that was definitely he was the reason that I was like, okay, well, I want to see if I can post every single day, for like as long as I can without without posting pictures that I didn't want to post, and so that's how it really started. That's how I probably over the last 2 months I've only missed like a couple days, as far as posting on Instagram goes, and like.
I didn't see that question.
Yeah. What was I saying?
I was like, Andrew and how often you post.
Oh yeah, yeah, and also Sam Elkins that's Andrew's friend. I don't follow Sam as closely, but they were hanging out together on I don't know, they were doing something, and Sam was saying that he thinks the most important thing is to just try to shoot every day, and I think that's probably even more important than posting every day.
Oh, I didn't answer that. Well, like you introduced
Yeah.
me to Andrew. Well, introduced me to Andrew's Instagram. I guess when we went to Drumheller.
Yeah.
So that was like more than 2 months ago.
Yeah.
Like 2.5 months ago. And then I also like, I really like India Earl's photography. She does like couple photography.
Yeah.
It's like cute and pretty. And she like is always out doing something. Like seems to get all these amazing jobs, which is crazy cool. But I don't like follow her super closely. Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
So Andrew and India.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So Jake Gaucher asked, "How do you see yourself turning photography into a career?" That's a really good question. I don't actually know. I think it probably it definitely starts out for the majority of people doing stuff like weddings and like sponsored work or working with companies, especially smaller brands to start out. And I definitely, the thing is, like, I want to do that regardless of whether or not I have to do that in order to start making money off of anything, because I think that's just like, that's a really good experience, and also that's a really great way to meet more people, or more like-minded people, I guess, that want to do the same kind of thing. And so regardless of the fact that like that's how you further your career, it's also just like something that I would really want to do with my time anyways. So I think that's where you start, but other than that, I don't know.
Wing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You're not even in focus. You're too far away. Yeah. Okay. That's all.
Stay peachy.